And now for the events of tomorrow. The Seattle Seahawks will be opening up at home against the San Francisco 49ers, and the outlook is a lot more positive than it was last week. So what do you say about a game like this where you come in as heavy favorites and expect to win easily? Well, first of all, that sentiment is very much true. This should be an easy win for this team just on the strength of the defense. We all saw last week how good this defense can be. And there was some chatter this week about how, the defense really wasn't as good as it looked. And PFF gave a whole bunch of the players on the defense mediocre to bad grades. Like Bennett was graded poorly. I think Averill was graded poorly. Richard Sherman was graded poorly, which, I don't know. I respect the guys at PFF a lot. I think they were missing some stuff in their analysis this week, as basically they said that about half the defense for the Seahawks played poorly, even though they went into Green Bay and gave up basically 10 points and didn't really give up anything until the fourth quarter when they were worn down. So to me, I respect PFF. I don't think that they're just completely off base here. I'm sure there was some process that led them to that conclusion, but I can come away from last week thinking nothing but positive things about the defense. And, simply put, this week against the 49ers, everything has taken a severe downgrade offensively when you compare them to the Packers. And last week, if you watch the 49ers game, the offensive line was getting beat up by the Panthers pass rush. Brian Hoyer got sacked 4 times. He was pressured more times than that. And the 49ers offense never did anything in that game. So immediately, I just take a look at Bennett, Averill, Richardson, Clark, and that's just on the front lines. And I just think we should be getting pressure on Hoyer all day. We should be destroying their running game by just taking blockers out of the play and the linebackers filling gaps. And there should really be very little opportunity for the 49ers offense to ever do anything in a game like tomorrow. And unlike against Green Bay, where the offense could never get anything going for a multitude of reasons, that should lead to a pretty quick pile-on in this game. And by the third quarter, we should all be feeling pretty good about the team again. So I'm not worried about what I'm going to see from the defense tomorrow, and I don't think any Seahawks fans really are. I think we all understand that we should be seeing a lot of quarterback pressures. We should be seeing a lot of tackles in the backfield. Just a lot of positive things from the defense. So we're all thinking about the offense. What are they going to do tomorrow against a 49er defense that, in week 1 they looked okay, but Cam Newton's shoulder is busted at this point, and I don't know if it's ever going to get better, at least this year. So watching that game, the Panthers put up like 23 points. I was just kind of thinking like Cam left a shitload of points out there. And you would hope that a quarterback playing better wouldn't be leaving those points out there. But you can say whatever you want to say. There is still a lot of concern surrounding this Seahawks offense against any defense, and I get it, especially after last week. And I'll just go ahead and say it. The Packers, they have good players on that defense, but they don't have overwhelming talent on that side of the ball either. They don't have overwhelming defensive line talent. They don't have overwhelming pass rush talent. And last week we saw it. Mike Daniels was destroying us. He would go destroy Luke Yokel, and then he would move to the other side, and he would destroy Mark Lewinsky. He would eat up whoever he went up against. And the 49ers, we all know they're going to be a rebuilding team this year. We all know that they're not trying for anything great this year, but they have comparable talent on the defensive line. In fact, most teams do. They're building their defense in many regards in these recent drafts. A guy like DeForest Buckner was a highly touted draft pick coming out of college, I think 2 years ago. He's in his second year now. That dude has a ton of talent, and immediately you have to think to yourself, well, if Mike Daniels can destroy our interior offensive line like that, guys like DeForest Buckner, Tank Carradine, uh, Aaron Armstead, I think his name is, those guys can have the ability to do that. So right away, your first concern is the 49ers defensive line could really make some plays in this game, and they could just make it hard for us. So we do need to improve from last week, or else this is going to be another low-scoring game where the game could get decided by a play made in the last 5 minutes. So to say that everything is just going to be fine and we don't have to do anything better than last week is disingenuous. Any defensive line in football is capable of playing really well against an offensive line that looks like maybe the worst in football or bottom three, and that's what we look like right now. So we do need to see improvement this week, and if the unit plays better this week, we need to take that as an encouraging sign. If the Seattle Seahawks offensive line shows strides from last week, that should put a lot of us at ease, is basically the point I'm making, because it's going to be very easy for us to take a look at a good offensive performance against the 49ers as we can just go, well, it's the 49ers. Well, I don't know about that. I need to see something this week. I need to see something better. Last week, you're playing in Green Bay. You're playing on grass. It's the first game for a lot of your offensive linemen at their current positions. I understand, but I believe that we can learn something tomorrow from the offense. And if they play better, I will take that very seriously. This isn't like college where you can't take anything from a win against Fresno State or from, Troy. This is real. And I expect to see improvement, basically, because if you watch some of the Pete Carroll press conferences, if you watch some of the buzz around the team this week, Pete Carroll, I think, is starting to lose his patience with the offensive line and therefore losing his patience with Tom Cable. It pissed him off to no end last year that we couldn't run the ball. Pete Carroll was livid that we could not run the ball last year. He hated it. And if we don't get better this year, he's going to start holding people accountable. And really that starts with Tom Cable, because we have spent resources on improving this offensive line. And that's really all you need to say about this. I mean, Russell Wilson, you hope he plays better. You hope the running game's linked to the offensive line. You hope Jimmy Graham plays a better game, but it all starts up front, and we're going to learn something significant about these guys tomorrow, because if they don't start showing improvement playing at home on turf against a not as good team, even though they still have some talent in that front seven, then it might be time to hit the panic button, because we don't have time to be messing around with this right now. The whole rest of the team is ready for a championship. And I don't want to see another year of the offensive line take the team down by 2 to 3 wins, because you don't get defenses this talented all that often in the NFL. Okay, I'm expecting a big win tomorrow. I'm expecting to see improvement on offense. I'm expecting to see dominant defense. But if we don't, then it might be time to genuinely be concerned. So see you guys tomorrow, probably.